the Sony Xperia Z Ultra and the new Nexus 7. Different devices, but actually they have a lot of similarities. Guys, today we're going to be battling them out and see which one I prefer over the other, even though one of them's a phone and the other's a tablet. We're going to start off by comparing the build quality of both devices. The Sony Xperia Z Ultra is probably the biggest phone we've ever seen, and on the back it's just a big slate of glass. And I know what you're thinking, that's not going to be really durable. And sadly, I agree with you. This device does not look like it will survive a hard fall. On the left side, we get a dock connector. Also on the left side, covered up by a tab, is the charging port for your device. I'll explain why it's covered up in a little bit later on in this video. At the bottom of our device, we get the speakers, which haven't performed that good for me as Sony was advertising before. We also get the power button and the volume rockers on the right side of the device, and they're really easy to access, and that's a good thing when you have such a big device. Also on the right side, we get our micro SD card slot and our SIM card slot, and that's going to come in handy, especially the extra storage. On the back of the device, we got our 8 megapixel camera and our NFC logo, but sadly there's no flash, which is actually a pretty big thing to a lot of people. We also do get our Sony logo and our Xperia logo. At the front of the screen at the very top, we get our 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera and our Sony logo. And so, as I said, there were tabs covered up, and that's because this device is waterproof, and it could go up to 1 meter underwater for 30 minutes. So if you ask me, that's a pretty good trade-off, just to have to open one of those things up every once in a while. The Nexus 7, on the other hand, comes with a really nice polycarbonate backing that feels really nice in the hand and is definitely really smooth. I definitely prefer this more than the glass on the Xperia Z Ultra, as it is a little bit more durable, since it's not glass, of course. On the top of our device, we get a 3.5mm headphone jack, and the sound quality has been pretty good coming from it. On the left side of the device, it's pretty much clean and there's nothing there. At the bottom of the device, we get our charging port, and we also do get dual speakers, which also haven't been performing for me that well, and definitely not dual speaker quality. On the right side of the device, we get our power button and our volume rocker, which are also really easy to access. Back of the device, we get a 5 megapixel camera, which is definitely not going to take quality shots. And finally, we do get our Nexus and Asus logo to make sure you know who's building this device. Now we will compare two of the most beautiful displays I've ever seen on a phone or tablet. The Xperia Z Ultra comes with a massive display at 6.44 inches, but it also is able to bring great quality at 1080p by 1920p with also 344 ppi. So that's going to be an awesome screen, and you shouldn't see any pixels. One thing I did notice is it's a really sensitive screen, and when scrolling through apps like Twitter, it would accidentally open up different stuff that I didn't mean to click on, and that seemed to annoy me a lot. Here are some sample shots that came with the Xperia Z Ultra, and as you can see, they just look beautiful on the device. It does take a little bit time for them to load and get to their full quality, but when it does, it's amazing, and definitely the best screen on any device as of now. The Nexus 7 comes with a 7-inch display, and remember, this is a tablet, so it comes with 1920 by 1200 display and 323 ppi, which is also going to be an awesome screen. It's definitely not as sensitive as the Z Ultra, and it doesn't open up stuff on accident as the Z Ultra did a lot. So with this kind of display, you're definitely not going to see any pixels, and apparently it's the highest res display on any 7-inch tablet, so that's pretty cool. Here's a video that I loaded up from Unbox Therapy, great channel, and just showing you how great the quality is on the new Nexus 7. Definitely a huge improvement over last year's version. Next, I wanted to talk about the processors on each of these devices, as you expect them to be fast as they are from this year, meaning that they should be running the latest processors. And that's not true for both of them. But we're going to start off with the Z Ultra. The Z Ultra comes with a Snapdragon 800 processor, which is blazing fast, and it's actually the only device right now to have that processor. So definitely blazing fast. Gaming, you're not going to have any problems with, and it just looks awesome, especially on that huge screen. So if you're a gamer and you want to have pretty much a portable game device, then this could be perfect for you. But also getting 2 GB of RAM, which is kind of the standard for phones these days. And since you get that and the fast processor, you shouldn't have any problem opening apps, as they're all really quick and very, very fast. The new Nexus 7 comes with a Snapdragon S4 quad-core processor, which is a huge improvement from last year, but still not what everyone wanted. This processor is almost a couple years old now, and even though it performs decent, it's still not as good as the newer Snapdragon processors. But gaming still turns out great on this new Nexus 7, and I've definitely had a great time playing it, especially with this great display too. Nexus 7 was also upgraded to 2 GB of RAM, so it's still a really, really fast device, and scrolling speeds and opening apps are really quick. Now getting into software, the Z Ultra is running Sony's latest UI, running version Android 4.2.2. Sony did a lot of a good job compared to some launchers like TouchWiz, which I really don't prefer, and they make it look a really ice cream sandwich way, but they also give you a lot of customization, like choosing between all these different themes. I still prefer stock Android over this, as I did notice a lot of problems. As you can see, when I'm scrolling through here, I get a lot of lag, and also when unlocking the screen, I get this gray flash, which annoys the shit out of me. I don't know why, but that's a huge annoyment for me, and I notice a lot of those little things. The Nexus 7, on the other hand, comes with stock Android and Android version 4.3. That means you get the fast stock Android goodness, and there's nothing better than that. As I said, it is running Android version 4.3, and that also means you're always going to be getting the latest updates from Google, and that's a huge bonus instead of having to wait a long time and maybe not even have the chance of getting the new software updates. As I mentioned a couple times before, the Z Ultra is also a phone. So this is basically a tablet phone, not even a phablet phone, but that is a bonus that you get a call and message from the same device you could use basically as a tablet. But then again, it did look pretty stupid to hold that huge thing up to your head. As I said before, 2 similar devices, but different too. One of them's a phone, one of them's a tablet. Even though they're both really fast and have great screens, I can only choose one, and I'm going to have to go with the Nexus 7. The reason is, the Nexus 7 is an awesome device, and it's only $230. And of course you can always go and get something like the S4 or the HTC One to go with it. So at the end, you could buy the Nexus 7 for $200 and the HTC One for $600, and that'll still be cheaper than getting the new Xperia Z Ultra. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe for more videos like this, battles, versus reviews, ROM reviews, and please make sure to give this video a like, as it took a lot of time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.